what I'm going to talk about is really important because you're selling products or you're selling services, but you're also selling yourself. Whenever you go and you talk to clients, you sell yourself as being knowledgeable. Whenever you go on a date with a girl or a guy, you sell yourself as being intelligent and well put together. And when you go to business meetings, you sell yourself as someone who can get things done. So I'm going to grab this chair because I don't want to be looking down the entire time. All right, that's much better. Okay. So, as I said, we're going to get into why people buy things in the first place and what's the driving force behind it. This is going to help you formulate good products, have a higher conversion rate, and spend less time and money overall getting to your goals. But you have to know the psychology behind the sale first. So who am I? My name is Fabian Garcia. What do I do? Well, I'm the co-founder of a marketing company called SEO.LA, where we help digital marketers increase conversions, get clients, exposure, and branding. I'm also the CMO of BankX, which is a cryptocurrency. We've raised about $12 million, and the creator is actually Lance right here. Lance, can you put your hand up for a second? So I'm running the marketing for it. The release is imminent. And I also have something called Breakaway USA, which it's a media company where we talk about culture and politics, where you can catch us very soon on Amazon Prime and Apple Plus and all that very soon. You guys are the first to actually hear about that. So very happy about that. So what is psychology? If you know me, you know that I like to make sure everyone's on the same page and understand what we're going to be talking about. So psychology is very simply the study of the mind and the behavior. Now, we humans are objectively not that complicated of creatures. We are essentially byproducts of two things: environmental and biological and genetic factors. Environmental factors being our upbringing, and that includes, did you grow up in poverty? What's your education? Were you in toxic or abusive relationships? Did you grow up with a single parent? Were you exposed to toxins or bad air pollution when you were young? And you combine those with biological factors. How tall you are. Do you have a predisposition to high blood pressure, thyroid issues, cancer? How much hair do you have on your body? And now this may sound funny, but it's actually very important. What size is your penis? Or what breast size are you? Those, in addition to other health, physical, and mental traits, that's what you are. And there are tons of products that sell cures to these two specific factors. Now, these are things that life has given to us. Most often we don't choose these things. You don't choose where you grew up, how your parents are, what kind of partner you get into a relationship with. So these are the things that we grew up with dealing with. And no matter how much money you have in the bank, these don't go away. They stay with you all their lives. So for purposes of this talk, let's call this environmental and biological factors. Let's call them baggage, right? Because the incredible thing about humans is that no matter how much baggage you still have wants and you still have needs. And we try all of our lives to meet these needs while carrying this baggage. That's what they call the struggle of life. It's climbing the mountain with all this baggage attached to you. So let me show you the mountain. Now, this is Abraham Maslow, who in 1943 wrote a paper called The Theory of Human Motivation. And he came up with this. And you may have seen this. This is called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So essentially what it says is that humans throughout their life, they try to ascend to the highest of this pyramid, right? That's your life. You start off from the very bottom with physiological needs. These are things like air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. Now, these are the basic needs of life. You can't think about anything unless you have those. Once you have those secure, then you go to safety needs. Personal security, employment, resources, health, and property. Real estate agents, this is where you sell that. This is who you sell to. Above that, we have love and belonging, friendships, intimacy, family, sense of connection. Dating coaches, relationship coaches, this is where you operate here. Above that, we have esteem, self-esteem, respect, status, recognition, strength. and freedom. All your self-help books goes there. And above that, you have self-actualization. And this is where you have those mystic gurus that say, I know the secret to life and all this stuff. So it could get very messy up here. Religion also is up here. Okay? But, so everything that you're selling as business owners is being sold to someone in one of these levels. And that's extremely important to recognize. Because your product will usually help them fulfill something in these levels to save them the most important thing that we have as human beings. That is the only commodity that cannot be created nor destroyed, and that's time. The higher quality food you eat, the longer you would expect to live. The more time you have to escalate in that ladder, or the pyramid. The better you are at talking to women, the faster you can get married, the more time you have to spend on all those other things. The faster you buy a home, the same thing. This is why I love the term fixer-upper, because you fulfill that need in that level. It may not be your dream home, but it's something to get you started. And how do you know which level of the pyramid you're on? Most of the time, it's whether you have the things that it says. Have you fulfilled those items? And here's the thing, is on the lower levels, it's much easier to understand where you are, right? Food, water, clothing, it's pretty obvious. It gets harder to discern when you get to the upper levels because it becomes more abstract and subjective. For instance, I objectively know if I have enough air to breathe. So do you, right? It's pretty easy. But how do I know that I'm truly fulfilled in the relationship that I'm having? That's a lot harder to figure out. So, knowing which level you're at is usually done by comparing yourself to other people. And here's where it gets crazy. You always meet someone and deduce what type of level they are on, right? You're literally guessing what level they're on. And then you're comparing what you think your level is to what you think their level is. For instance, this is a beautiful house, right? It's massive. David owns this house wherever he's at. So you would deduce that he's pretty high up on this pyramid, right? In relation to maybe most other people. And that's why there's so much confusion in the world. And this is why anyone you're selling to, you have to understand this is what they're going through. They don't know what's happening. They don't know where they're at. They're trying to figure things out. But all of this figuring out, it takes one very important thing. Self-consciousness. And what is self-consciousness? Well, self-consciousness is a heightened state of awareness of oneself. Right? Now, I'd like to reference a philosopher named George Hegel. Now, I don't agree with everything he says. He's very obtuse and abstract. But one of the good things he does is he explains this. Okay? And in his book, The Phenomenology of Spirit, which came out in 1807, I got that right, 1807, is that he labels self-consciousness, and he says self-consciousness is really a struggle for recognition between two individuals bound to another as unequals in a relationship of dependence. So he believed that being conscious of objects implies some awareness of the self as a subject which is separate from the perceived self. So he believed that being conscious of objects implies your awareness, and that subjects are objects to other subjects. So to everyone around you, you are a subject, and they are the object. And in a much easier way, he says self-consciousness is the awareness of another person's awareness to you. Or you become aware of yourself by seeing yourself through the eyes of another person. If the view of yourself is negative, you have negative self-consciousness, right? So this is all to say that you are selling into an extremely complex set of circumstances which are changing for customers all the time. This is why you may not close someone the first day, but in 60, 90 days, things may change. And if you don't understand this, then your marketing will get average conversions. You'll be an average marketer. And that's not to say you can't succeed being average, because you can, but it's going to take a lot more work and selling a lot more product to get to the same place. Now, as business owners, what do? You sell value. right? Your goal is to have the highest CLTV, the highest customer lifetime value. It says it right in there. And I'm not talking about perceived value. I'm talking about actual value. Perceived value is when you're trying to sell something to someone who is not on the right level, right? You try to sell them, I'm going to make you a millionaire, when they don't even have their safety and needs figured out. It's not going to work. Now, here's what smart people in business have done in the past. They've sold something that's maybe right around this level here. Once you can fulfill that level and you teach them something, guess what? You have their email, you have their information, you have their data. Now, what do? We're going to sell them something else. But what people make a lot of mistakes is they sell them something from the level below them, which they've already accomplished. They don't need that. And you're wondering why your conversions are sucking on this new product that has a beautiful landing page, but people don't want it. You've helped them too much. What you should do is offer them solutions and products that raise them up in this Maslow's hierarchy of needs so that they can get closer to self-actualization. That is literally your only job as a business owner. Thank you.